Hello and welcome to the Critically Clueless. I'm the Monk, and today we are in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, and we're going to be doing a classic RPG build. I don't think you can get much more classic than this build. This is also, in my opinion, the key to all. This is the master of all. This is a rogue build. And this guy is going to get you through so many barriers in the game. When it comes to games where you get to have a variety of companions, you always seem to need that one guy that can kind of fill in the gaps and have basically a guy that just ticks all the boxes. Well, for me, this is my rogue build. It's going to be opening up so much stuff when it comes to the world and, of course, dialogue options galore. Now, of course, this guy's going to have to be able to defend themselves as well. So keep in mind where you want them to go. Do you want them to be short swords and daggers? Do you want them to be a bow? For me, I'm going to go for a bow because I just like that kind of, strider build and imagery. And I just like a bow. I like having these kind of characters more at the back. You don't have to put so many points into, things to keep them alive if they're at the back and just being a support character. Also, the master of all has to be a half elf, which kind of works out pretty well. You do get the 2 bonus abilities along with Alvin immunities. Going into our heritage, we're going to go for skill focus with basic adaptability, skill focus, and that will be world knowledge. We're going to seriously buff this up in this game, or in this build, should I say. If we go for regional historian in the background selection, this will also buff up the world knowledge by another 2 as well. Now moving on to the stats, we don't need any strength, so take that off. We are going to be at the edge of the battlefield using our bow to kind of support our people. So take it off strength, put it on dexterity. We're going to have a really high dexterity, 18 dexterity. That actually really helps with, us landing our hits. Again, if we was going to be going melee, and going short swords, for instance, or daggers, that dexterity would help land those shots. However, if you are going to be doing that, I would recommend having a little bit more strength. But for this build, 10 will work out just fine. Or you could just strip it off, of course, and put extra points in intelligence, because we want as much intelligence as we can get. 16 intelligence will work absolutely dandy. Then we have got 12 wisdom and 12 charisma. The 12 charisma means we've still got enough charisma to aid us in persuasion checks as well. Like the build name suggests, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is a master of all when it comes to those dialogue speeches and stuff like that. So having a decent amount of wisdom, charisma, intelligence, it all seriously helps. We do have to make sacrifices somewhere, which is why we've got very low strength. And again, you can take this out of constitution as well. However, I just don't like doing that. Now, if you've been following my build, you're going to have a grand total of 7 allocated skill points, which is huge and possibly the most I've had in any build that I've done so far. You can literally pick almost anything you like. As you can see, we're greens all across the board, meaning we really could go in any direction. Trickery, stealth, knowledge arcana, knowledge world, all these are very good. Perception, of course, you want to have that way this character is going to be finding everything around the world, including on the map as well. And an extra point into persuasion will see us right. Moving on to the feats is where it becomes a little bit tricky, and there's a few things that we could or would want to pick up. Point blank shot helps a lot when it comes to using our bow. It basically means we're able to hit more consistently and a little bit harder. I quite like it. However, you could double down on what we've already been doing, and that's buffing up our knowledge, making us the master of all when it comes to those dialogue options. And of course, remembering we are an elf, so we do get those extra little choices as well. You've got a lot of things to consider as you're leveling up this character. I would say pick what you feel most comfortable with. I'm extremely tempted to go into skill focus and really get those extra points into persuasion, perhaps. I like knowing that my character is going to be able to get away with almost anything when it comes to the dialogue. This is the perfect character to do that with as well. However, if you do want someone to be a little bit more reliable on the battlefield, then possibly go with something more combative. Also remembering, if you're not going to be going with the bow, then perhaps you're going to be going with the two weapons. So two weapon fighting is also a great feat to pick up with this character if you're going for that melee route instead of bow. But for this character, we're going to be going with that pinpoint shot. And then, of course, we are on to the deity. Pick what makes sense the most. I'm personally going to go for something that suits my longbow. I'm also going to be going for a good character because I think this is a good character. And I do like to try and balance my builds between good and evil, even though secretly I prefer the evil builds. But there it is, guys. There is my rogue master of all. This is truly the key to the game. I honestly feel like you need one character in your party that can kind of do all those little things that you don't necessarily want to focus on. A lot of the time, it's so easy to focus on having a spellcaster, to having a tank, to having a fighter, to having a healer. These are obvious things that you want in your party when it comes to taking on the world and taking on the monsters of your world. But more often than not, you forget about actually having someone to find all those little things, having someone with high perception to find all the traps, or, you know, being able to find all the little boxes and goodies hidden around the map as well. And of course, having that character that unlocks all of those dialogue options as well. For me, this is this character. Let me know down below what you think of this character, what you think of this build. Have you got a character of your own, a master of all, as it will? Let me know down in the comments. Be very interested to know what you guys have actually come up with. And don't forget, if you've got a build class that you would like to see on this channel, let me know down in the comments and I'll make sure that I'll get on it. But if you have enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. If you want a better way to support this channel too, I have recently released my novel, which is a dystopian cyberpunk for pre-order on Amazon. It's also going to be available for Kindle Unlimited, so keep an eye out for it. It is 7 Broken Unbound, and the link for that will be down in the description. But until next time, guys, I've been a monk, we've been Critically Clueless, and I will see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.